VideoGamesChronicle.com says PS5 controller shown in patent images. A Sony Interactive Entertainment patent has revealed images of what could be the PlayStation 5's controller. The images, which were first published on the Japanese Patent Office website today, attributed to the PlayStation manufacturer and match a description of the PS5's prototype pad in a Wired article, in which Sony's next-gen controller is described as an awful lot like the PS4's DualShock 4. The patent specifically highlights a microphone, but comparison images posted online show that there are many subtle changes between the pictured controller and a DualShock 4. The controller pictured in the patent features larger triggers, slightly smaller sticks, a USB port, and no light bar. The prototype PS5 controller currently being sent to developers is described as, quote, an unlabeled matte black doohickey. That looks very similar to the PS4's DualShock 4, but Sony has confirmed some significant additions. One major improvement added to the PS5's controller is adaptive triggers, which SIE says can offer varying levels of resistance to make game mechanics such as shooting a bow and arrow, the tension increasing as you pull the throw back the arrow, feel more realistic. The PS5 controller, which will switch to USB-C for charging, also includes haptic feedback with highly programmable voice coil articulators located in the left and right grips of the pad. Combined with improved speaker on the controller, the haptics can enable astonishing effects. So they've got some pictures up here, and then they've also done their own mock-up of what the controller would look like. Of course, all of this is in the description of the show if you want to look yourself. They got like a side-by-side thing here. I think, like, if this is what we're looking at, yes, I think when you look at the new one compared to the DualShock 4 side by side, it definitely is like fatter. You can tell, like it's not Xbox controller fat, but it's still compared to the DualShock 4 quite bigger. I can't really tell by the picture that the sticks would be thinner. They look the DualShock's knobs themselves look the same size.
No, it looks pretty much the same, just like the actual controller itself a little bit thicker.
Yeah, so the controller looks thicker. Then there's also the touchpad in turn also looks bigger, I guess, because the controller gets a bit bigger, so the touchpad gets a bit bigger. Then, of course, the other standout thing on the controller is obviously the thing running at the bottom of it, which is presumably the voice command microphone slot input thing.
Yep.
Down the bottom there. And then, yeah, no touch bar, which I don't know. Light bar, sorry, yeah. I don't know if I buy into the light bar not being there upon final release, solely because if they're carrying over PSVR, how does that work? Exactly. So I don't buy into that. Maybe for this, like when they did the patent, and maybe they were doing the test runs with it, they just did without it, obviously, to test out all the new features and whatever else. But I definitely would say that when the full controller releases, that the light bar would have to be there, because it would literally make PSVR so many games unplayable. So and they're like, yeah, sure, you can bring your PSVR over, but you still have to use your old controllers with this system. It'll be like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, we're using PS Move controllers from PlayStation 3 still.
We are, I guess. But then they kind of open themselves up to some more problems, because the second they're like, hey, new PS5, cool. Here you go. You get one controller in the box, as per usual. You got a PSVR, cool. You have to hook up the old DualShock controllers to be able to use them. The second people hear that you can hook up old DualShock controllers to this, then people will be like, well, why am I buying a new controller? I'll just use the 3-4 I've already got for all my multiplayer games and so on and so forth, and I won't buy extra DualShocks. You know what I mean? They kind of dig themselves a hole there, I guess, if that's the route they go. So, yeah. They could make the light bar thinner, surely, and still have it work as well. I don't really know how the technology works, and if it needs to be as maybe they could get away
prominent.
Maybe they could get away with making it a little bit prominent. Maybe they could add the ability so it turns on and off on this one, just depending on with ease, because I know you can fiddle with it a bit, but maybe it's just off all the time unless you're using it for something like PSVR or whatever, where it's a game that actually requires the light bar to be turned on. Yeah, because I know I personally like. I know what was I playing recently? Yeah, when I was playing Jedi Fallen Order, I kept being like, this fucking light is changing consistently, and it's pissing me off because I'm sitting in a dark room and it's shining these different colors onto my TV, and I'm like, go away, I don't care. The light bar has never been something that's blown my mind the whole time I've had a PS4. Maybe the first week or first month or something, I was like, oh, this is really exciting. Look at the colors it changes and all this sort of stuff. But I'm like, I don't care. Like it changed. Oh, I remember playing Killzone Shadowfall. It's like, oh, it goes from green to red when you're losing health and all this stuff. I'm like, it's the controller is facing away from me. This does not help me. You know? Do you care for do you care for it or?
I don't have a problem with the light. I've never had a problem with the light. I mean, sometimes it's cool and it changes color. But
look at you, light neutral over here. Well, I've never had a problem with the light. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the same as the speaker. Because I mean, I don't know if I don't remember if we said this on the thing, but I don't care for a speaker, and I know you don't really either because we play with headphones on.
Yep.
So that's another DualShock feature. Like, so the light bar plus the speaker were like two prominent DualShock 4 features, I guess, and neither I care for because I can't see the bloody light thing, and I play my PlayStation games always with a headset on of some sort. So anytime anything's been happening, I've not heard it. You know, oh, the baby's making noises playing Death Stranding. I can't hear it. I don't care.
Well, I can hear it. I just can't hear it from my controller.
Yeah, I hear it in the way I want to hear it in my actual ear holes, not through the controller. You know, look, there's a lot of gimmicky shit. I don't care for this. Anyway, PS DualShock 5. It's fatter. It's got a speaker thing. Get hyped.